Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where our realm is currently being ravaged by this apocalyptic plague. It is probably going to go away soon. It has now been raging for over 2 years, but it is beginning to recede. And once it's gone, we've got plans. That's for sure. We will get that taken care of, eventually. But first, we'll just let this plague pass. I don't want to risk any significant issues from that. We've already got significant issues from the plague, to be fair. So we'll just wait for that to pass. It will be gone very, very shortly here. Theoretically. Anyway, there's a dangerous faction. This is a claimant faction. Okay, that's interesting. Why are you that strong? That's actually a good question. Why are they that strong? I guess it's their ally military strength? Okay, well, they're no longer that strong. I guess the game recalculated. So that seems fine. We're still waiting a little bit on this plague to go away, but it's just about gone. Wonderful. We're going to be emerging from seclusion as soon as we can. Promoted legend is no longer owned. Okay, that's fine. We were only doing that because we got paid to. So that's absolutely fine. No issue there. We can build over here in Korkai, and that's not a terrible idea. So we could definitely get these mobile camps going in. We could also get the blacksmiths. Both would be very good for us. I'm going to do the mobile camps for now. So that seems great. And we've just about got this plague gone, but it's still hanging on, mostly just in our territory. Awkward. It will go away soon. I hope. I wish? Eventually. Okay, now it's starting to go away. It's no longer in our capital. It is right next to our capital. But it is about to be gone. Perfect. Any moment now. I'm just waiting for these two to go away, and then we'll emerge from seclusion. Elephant hospitals. Does that actually... No, okay. It's just a regular elephantry upgrade. I was going to say, does that help with disease outbreaks? No, it does not. Okay, that's fine. Hospices have been built in Madurai. We're still waiting on these two. It has now been over 3 years, by the way, since this plague started. One of these days. It's really hanging on. We could probably just no longer be secluded, but for the moment, I just want to hang out these last couple of minutes here while we wait for this. I say couple of minutes, but this is a very long time. Flagellants at court? I'm sure they're harming nobody but themselves. Control decline is not ideal. We should check in on our control levels, actually. How is that doing post-plague? It's fine. No actual problem. We can work on control up over here, I suppose. So that will do for now. Eventually, these two areas will leave, right? Surely they'll leave. There goes one. There, finally. Okay, so now we're going to emerge from seclusion. There we go. Excellent. And that looks fine. Our heir is unmarried. We should probably do something about that. You'll do. Okay. So now I want to immediately attack this fine gentleman down here. We can do this instantly, and we have claims on everything that he holds. So his military strength is allegedly similar to ours, and that's kind of true, but we should be able to easily defeat him regardless. So we're going to raise up our forces maybe a little further back than I would normally raise them, about here. I'd normally raise them like right here, but I feel like he's going to raise faster, and that might be a bad thing. Okay. So this is all looking fine for now. We're going to come in and attack him here if he's still standing there. We actually raised faster, so we should have raised closer, but it's okay. So he's going to run off a little bit here. And yes, I do want to spare no expense to rebuild. We are in debt now, and that is not great for our ability to fight this war. So that's absolutely noted, and we're going to keep going into debt because this is an expensive army, and that's absolutely understood. So I want to come up and siege over here. This should go very quickly. I don't care about the sieges going on over here, to be honest. So that seems fine. Excellent. And we're going to head down over this direction. Perfect. So we're going to get this siege done, and then I'm going to fight these guys, since they're nice and isolated. They're going to have to abandon their siege in order to help the rest of their force, and I think they still lose this, no matter what. Yeah, they're just trying to run away. This is a terrible situation for them. And they kind of just waltzed right into it. There was no reason for them to do this. But okay. So that puts us at 88%. We stack wiped his army. As expected, we do very, very well against him. And we're going to head down to here next if this doesn't end it, but it does. So the war is over, and we're going to enforce those demands and disband our troops. Now, we are way over our domain limit. So we got to head up over this direction, and we need to grant that out. We've got a lot of granting out that we need to do over here. Now, what's the duchy situation out over this direction? 3 duchies in total. Okay, so we hold this duchy right now. I'm going to grant this out to a noble, and then I'm going to grant him the duchy title. So that will be all of this. There we go. And then down this direction. That's interesting. This should have gone with. I'm not sure why it didn't, actually. That's weird. Well, we'll deal with that in a moment. First, I want to grant out this title. And then we'll grant him the... We don't actually have the Raj title down here, do we? It's not created. Okay, we don't have the gold to create this at this time. So we're going to have to grant all of these out independently, like so. So I'm going to grant this to a random vassal, and then we should be able to transfer de jure, right? Yes. Okay. I don't know why that didn't transfer over to begin with, but we need to get this duchy created. That's going to be the next goal for our gold, but it's going to be a little bit before we have that. We do need a new steward, and that will be this lady. Seems good. We are pretty in debt right now, and we need to work our way out of that, for sure. So I have a stewardship perk available, and we are going to... There we go. That took a moment to pop in. We are going to grab probably Hergeld, but we might also grab War Profiteer. I don't know. I'm not planning to do the big wars immediately because we're not in a good position to do them. I think Hergeld is probably the way to go here. Let's check in on the status of those quick, though. We can't declare a war while in debt. Yeah, but is this guy still allied? Yes. Okay. So that's absolutely fine. We'll work our way out of debt. The Regent is swinging his scales of power against us, or actually her scales of power. We're going to see if we can get rid of her. I'm going to leverage some piety here, and we're going to swing it back. And then we'll see, will she accept just getting out of here? She'll accept renown, actually. Or almost accept. We can try. 46% chance. Okay, she did not accept, but that did swing the scales of power down on her. So we'll try again next year. That'll be fine. So our income is definitely not as high as I'd like it to be. We do have 2 titles that can be created, the Kingdom of Lanka and the Duchy of Maya. I want to do both, and we can't do them right now. And we also need to keep in mind, we're only king tier, so creating the kingdom is actually a bad idea. Oh, we need to deal with this county corruption. So we're going to immediately hop out over this direction. That'll drop it down to 75%, but it will immediately lose that situation. Cool. So that seems fine. How much are we spending on reinforcing our men-at-arms? Okay, quite a lot. Noted. That is definitely going to be a little bit. So that's all looking absolutely fine for now. There's a faction targeting us. That's okay. I'm not seeing any immediate easy expansion for us. So that means we have to fight one of these two. And we'll figure out which we want to do soon enough. But coming out of debt first is definitely the priority at this moment. So we need to get that Raj created, and we need to definitely work our way out of debt. That's a big, big focus right now. Our stress level is still up a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. No, stop trying to get us high partition. Get out of here. I'm not going to take high partition. That's a terrible idea. This guy only has 7 gold. I'm going to hold off on that hook payment until he has more money. So that'll be fine. We are still about 3 months in debt here, so we'll be out of debt fairly soon. We've only gotten the 1 county corruption out of this, so really that wasn't so bad. Our development is still absolutely awful. And that's because we keep getting ravaged by terrible plagues over and over and over. It's fine. It's absolutely okay. Yeah, rampant flagellation over here. This apocalyptic inquisition is going to be rough for another 7 years. Like, there's very little that we could have done about that either. We just had to pick it. Very sad. So we're going to be back out of debt next month. And that's absolutely great. Our sister died. Okay. We do lose a little stress because our rival is angry. So that's fine. Let's just get out of debt here. We're now out of debt, and you can see we're losing money now. And this is because we were not reinforcing our men-at-arms while we were in debt. Now our men-at-arms are reinforced, and now we're going to be making money again. The regent is swinging the scales of power. Very rude of her. And we would like to end this entrenched regency. 58% chance now for renown. Okay, we'll see if she accepts this. She did. Perfect. So that puts us at 7 of 6 domain. And this is because we're unmarried. Right. This is going to be a big legitimacy hit if we do this. 400 legitimacy. We can't afford that. This lady, though, she's our steward. She is highborn, and she's actually our best option, believe it or not. So we're going to do just that. There we go. That puts us up to 7 of 7. She's no longer our steward, so that means we need a new steward, which is going to be our player heir. And he is actually a fortune builder, so that's pretty decent. Now, she's going to go on to manage domain, which puts us at 7 of 8. That's interesting, because that means we could either pull back one of these, or we could switch to wealth focus, which is what I'm going to do. Or potentially, depending on how good our stewardship is now, both. No, not both. Okay. That's absolutely fine. I'm still going to switch over to plus 10% income. That will be absolutely wonderful. So we have enough money now to be able to make this duchy title, which we will absolutely do. That'll boost our legitimacy some, and that's going to go to this fine gentleman right here. Perfect. We finished increasing control in Mahal, so that's great. And we are going to be upgrading that eventually, but for now, this is fine. Also, I've been noticing a little bit of framiness here, and I think it's because I turned on VSync after last episode. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are with the game restarted, and oh, that's much smoother. Fantastic. Okay, so I still have the game frame limited to 60 FPS. I didn't actually think there'd be a difference, but apparently that changes the frame pacing. Interesting. Well, we're just going to not run that. So we'll proceed, and in theory, absolutely nothing will be different from here other than the fact that we want to eventually create this kingdom title. But I don't think that now is a good time for that. We just became contrite, which is not ideal. But if we created this kingdom now, problems could ensue on succession because we don't have an empire tier title. We would need the Deccan Empire for that. And for that, of course, we need to fight this fine gentleman. So we would need to holy war for this kingdom, ideally. Now, this is spooky. We don't want to do this because of this alliance he has. The other thing we can do is work towards becoming exalted among men, and we can declare on this guy and do a subjugation war on him. That would get us his empire title. It would be very interesting. I actually want to do this. He's not that much stronger than us, which means that what we should do is we should work on building up our prestige. How much prestige do we need here? Only about 2,500. So our stress is a little high. There are a few things that we can do. We could work on feasting. Not ideal in this case. We could work on a funeral. Probably not a terrible concept. We could have a coronation. Also probably not a terrible concept. We may want to consider saving up and doing a coronation. That's probably not a bad idea. So for now, everything else is looking good. We're overwhelmed by stress because our friend died. Very rude. We're going to lose 30 stress from being grouchy, but that is fine. Okay, so we have crossed the 20k threshold in troops. That's nice. But right now, all we need really, more than anything, is just a little bit more gold. It doesn't even need to be much. Our current legitimacy level is only 3, and I would definitely like to work that up. Coronation would help with that as well. So I really think that a coronation is the way to go here. So that will be fine. Eventually, all of this will get completed, but it'll be a little bit yet. Okay, so we have 626 gold at this moment. Oh, we can extort. We should do that. Now, where are my loyal subjects? They even live by my mercy alone. Yes, this is what we're going to do. That gives us definitely enough gold to do a coronation. So we're going to do that, and that is going to be probably in the traditional coronation location. There are 3 of those. We'll just travel down over here. It's okay. Our goal is currently to impress attendees, which would earn legitimacy, cultural acceptance, and magnificence. What does magnificence even do? Determines the outcome of the activity. Okay. So this would be prestige. We'll probably get some of that anyway. The major goal behind this is legitimacy and prestige. So I think going for legitimacy is better. Legitimacy is harder to get than prestige. So we'll do this for now, and that is going to be glory and splendor, and we're going to do lavish banquets. Okay, so that looks good. Do we actually need mercenary guards? No. Do we actually need the mountaineer? Maybe. Let's see what happens if we get a caravan master only. We can spend the 6 gold on a mountaineer. It's fine. So we'll go ahead and run this. That is, of course, very expensive, but we're going to head over and get ourselves coronated. So that's going to build up a lot of legitimacy, and that will overall be a very, very good thing. So that all sounds good. We have arrived at the coronation. Soon, my reign begins. Magnificence has been damaged by factions opposing us, but whatever. So 5 months until that begins. We do have a dynasty legacy that we can take, and I'm going to take inherited tactics. Absolutely. That's going to be very powerful for us. Now, we've got 548 gold, and I'd like to check, can we put this over in Mahal? No, actually. We need a lot more gold to invest it in any of our locations. That's fine. So I'll just save that up for now. We do want to continue to invest in these locations. No doubt about that. But there's only so much that we can do right now, and that so much is literally nothing. So there's that. This coronation at this point is going to begin in 2 months, and that will be absolutely wonderful. Okay, now it is beginning, because our final guest arrived, so we're starting early. Welcome one and all. So we're engaged in the prelude here. We've become the owner of this book. Okay. Or we could just not become the owner of the book, and the magnificence would slightly increase, and we'd lose 65 stress. I'm going to take the book, actually. So that'll be fine. We are going to be able to equip that. Excellent. Learning lifestyle experience doesn't help us very much right now, but this is fine. Yeah, he is a model for all of our subjects. 75 prestige gained. Perfect. So gaining prestige is a big part of the reason why we're doing this. Not entirely the reason, but a big part of the reason. We'll have the magnificence increase notably here. What else do we have? Becomes a supporter of our coronation? Sure, why not? This guy's a neighboring ruler. Okay, apparently we invited him. So this would found a holy order. This would spend 400 gold for a slight increase of magnificence. We'll not spend that money. I don't want to do that. Okay, what is this? We'll keep an eye on this guy. We'll gain a little stress, but that's fine. Okay. Impressed by stately coronation. Sure. And a marginal increase of magnificence. We'll defend Shiva's faithful, I'm sure. That'll definitely be a thing we do, right? Spending 150 prestige doesn't matter here. Okay, 75 legitimacy. That's nice. We would become... Or this is available because we're diligent. Sure, we'll take it. It's too late to turn back, I suppose. So we're going to adopt the crowned sovereign law. That's fine. No shockers there. And what is our goal here? Well, our goal is definitely to expand the realm. No doubt about that. With that aside, it is time to celebrate. Okay, so we're not really pushing up towards this level 4 here, unfortunately. Hope this might get us there, actually. And the Emperor is going to pay us 450 gold. A glorious moment for our peoples. That got us up to level 4. Perfect. Rest assured, our reign will indeed be modest. I'm sure that's true. Magnificence increasing notably. Yes, please. I'd like to get this to Magnificence 5, but I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. So let's see what happens here. We gain a little bit more prestige, and this is all looking good for now. Little bit more magnificence. Promote legend? Yes, we take your 900 gold. Sure. So the feast is about to end here, and 32% chance of it going up again. We failed to sway them. That's fine. Okay, so stewardship challenge. Yeah, we'll take that. 5 different cultures will be affected, and our reign begins. Perfect. So the coronation is over, and that did get us some prestige. It wasn't a huge amount. We're not shocked that it's not a huge amount. We didn't really target prestige from that, but we do need less than like 2,200 at this point. So that's not too bad. Our stress is a little up there still, and our legitimacy, we could definitely bring that up, but that's fine. We'll lose some stress and travel a little slower. This is okay. And down over this direction, I definitely do want to get going on these regimental barracks. Let's get that going. And then I want to do the same thing right here. So that's a lot of gold put into that, of course. I can't believe we almost ate that garbage. Indeed. Okay, so now the question is, as we're working up our legitimacy, or not our legitimacy, our prestige here, what do we need to fight this guy? Because this is absolutely going to be our next goal. This, right here. We need to be exalted among men. So, yeah, for that, we're going to need about 2,171 prestige. I say about. That was the exact amount we need. Okay, so how do we want to go about doing that? Well, our best bet, we could create the Kingdom of Lanka. That would actually get us 400. That's not a terrible way to do that. But I think our best bet is to hold an activity here. Now, funerals, that would gain us legitimacy, but that's not going to gain us any piety, is it? Or not piety, any prestige. Yeah, that's not going to do that. I just wanted to double check that. I didn't think so. So in that case, there's definitely some things that we could do, like we could hold a grand tournament. That would definitely be a good way to do that. Or we could just hold a feast, and that will get us some. I doubt it'll get us enough, but it might get us a ways there. Grand tournaments are very expensive, so we may want to hold off on that for the time being, and go for that afterwards. So we're making 5.53 prestige per month right now. Okay. That's not too bad. We gained a level of devotion. Stop wasting my time. I don't want to spend money on a fish pond. Get out of here. We're invited to join this guy's hunt, or actually this lady's hunt, and this would gain prestige, so we might actually want to do this. It's a very long ways away, but there's no danger, so let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so off we go on the hunt. That'll be a way for us to earn some prestige, hopefully. 150 prestige, but not for us. We'll just make it go a little faster. We would like to have that 150 prestige for ourselves. Thank you very much. Sadly, that's not the case. Improved pastures seems good. And we'll definitely do that. Okay, so up we go. This is quite a long journey for us, of course. The real question is, how long will it take us to get this done? Because we need to fight this guy sooner rather than later. For multiple reasons, actually. Okay, so we've arrived at the Colur mining pits, and we're working on this hunt. Okay. Mediocre prestige. That's fine for now. And 150 stewardship lifestyle experience. That gives us access to detailed ledgers, which we are going to take. That'll boost our income some, which is good. 420 gold? No, thank you. I don't need luck. We are not going to take that. What do we got here? Are we going to get any prestige at all out of this hunt? We'll find out. In the meantime, of course, we're saving up to have a feast. The hunt failed? Okay. Well, that's inauspicious. We did gain 225 prestige, though, and 20 legitimacy. So even with that being a failed hunt, that's not too bad. Sure, we'll take it. So that, of course, means that in order to get to Exalted Among Men, we now need 1,000 and... hang on. 1,902? Yeah, 1,902 prestige. 75 gold, 55% chance of us gaining 75 prestige. We got the piety. Unfortunate. But it's worth a try. 1% chance of death here, huh? Actually, this guy's an excellent personal physician. Consider it done. We lost 200 prestige, but we don't actually care about the prestige. We care about the fame. The fame we don't lose. So that's absolutely fine. What do we got going on here? Yes, hand it over. We're going to steal 800 gold from these people. It's perfect. Absolutely ideal. They don't need it as badly as we do. Spending 150 prestige, I don't really care to do that. So here we can definitely boost our levies by upgrading our coops. That'll also boost our income a little bit. We can get going on that. And in our capital, I want to continue to boost our elephantry, for sure. So we'll get that going, and once those constructions get finished, things will get a lot better. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to work up our level of fame to Exalted Among Men, and we're probably going to attack this empire over here. They are looking vulnerable to me. This looks pretty free. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. That timing still isn't quite where I want it to be, but we'll get there.